one general point regarding the humanitarian aspects, but there will be more details on it, and then put it into context with the talks that I'm sure you're interested in. I see here some of our friends already arrived, and then how the issues of humanitarian aid, the cessation of hostilities, and the talks interconnect. First of all, we had a meeting, and I think it was a very useful meeting. You will be hearing more details, but you will see basically what has been so far achieved. Quite an achievement. 238,485 people have been reached, and more than, frankly, the 536 different tracks have reached. Last year, zero. Last year, zero. So we'll go into that. Now, regarding the actual talks, the talks are, as you know, officially today is the beginning of the arrivals. We are having a proximity talks because we're having a proxy war. And the proximity talks means we are staggering both meetings, rooms, and dates. For instance, today we're having the first arrivals of our own people. We're having a whole surge of UN colleagues who are actually helping us to make sure that we are going to be able to handle simultaneously four things. One, the proximity talks. Two task forces, one humanitarian and one on the cessation of hostilities, ceasefire. And three, as you know very well, a very unseen ever before operation center where we have the Russian, American, and UN monitoring, observing, and trying to check and keep a track on the ceasefire. All that requires some arrivals and some movements. The agenda for the talks are therefore going to be staggered in terms of arrivals. We are having people coming tomorrow. We'll have people coming on Sunday. There will be anyway on Saturday quite a few too. But then we plan to start having informal talks already, hotels or here, with whoever is arriving. But the substantive, deeper part of it, after the first preparation, will be on Monday, God willing, the 14th. They will last not beyond the 24th. We believe that having a timetable and a time limit is healthy for everyone. So we don't think that we can go on procedural discussion for 2 weeks hoping to get into substance. We go seriously into substance as soon as we can. There will be also the fact that there will be then a period of recess, few days, a week, perhaps 10 days, in order to give the time for delegations to then return and for us to recap where we are on it and then resume them as we did in the past. Now, the talks, as you know, were interrupted by myself because there were various reasons that we felt justified it. And the proof is that Munich was a good response to the need of resuming the talks by focusing on two important aspects, the humanitarian and the ceasefire. That has been beginning to be addressed. And at the same time, let me be very clear, when we start having the talks on Monday, God willing, the focus will be on substance, on the agendas. In other words, on new governance, constitution, and elections, the future elections in 18 months' time, both presidential and parliamentarian. The issue about ceasefire and the humanitarian, in theory, and we hope in practice, should not be addressed by the talks because we do have the two task forces who are going to be simultaneously addressing those and therefore taking away the alibi in a way of those who may want only to talk about ceasefire and forgetting that at the end of the day ceasefire and humanitarian aid alone are not a solution. The solution is a political transition in Syria. Facilitated, made it credible to the Syrian people by an incremental humanitarian assistance and an incremental, more or less sustainable, we hope as much as possible, and quite unbelievable after 5 years of war, the cessation of hostilities or reduction of hostilities. That's basically the plan. So I will take 2 questions, but then I will leave the floor to both of you, because you are the ones who have the opportunity of elaborating on what we did this morning. 2 questions.
Catherine? Is there a mic? Yes.
But I can hear you,
Okay.
Catherine.
Catherine Fion-Kambokonga, France 24. Sir, Mr. Kerry is going to meet different European ministers in Paris on Sunday. Are you going to attend the meeting?
No, I'm not. I think John Kerry is doing an extremely supportive work to what we have been trying to do. It's not surprised that between him and Sergei Lavrov, we were being able to have the Munich understanding. My job is to actually try to prepare well the talks.
James.
Good to see you, James, again. Good to see you again.
There is a delay to start the substantive talks. You just explained that. Is there a danger in further delays?
Well, you see, the good thing about proximity talks is that I am in a position of staggering the talks, the dates, the days, the meeting rooms based on where and how they will be most fruitful. And from that point of view, in fact, any type of delay that I may decide to take will be based on how to make them more successful. But we are aiming on the 14th. Thank you. Last question, the gentleman there, okay. Shall we? Yes.
Thank you, Mr. de Mistura. We are very close to the end of 2 weeks.
Yes.
Cessation of hostilities.
Almost 2 weeks, you're right.
Yeah. Do you confirm now that there is an extent for the cessation of hostilities for more 2 weeks?
Well, let me really be very frank on that. I don't know where this 2 weeks issue came up from an international point of view. I heard that some the sides have indicated 2 weeks. From the UN point of view and the Geneva, meetings we have been having on the task force, and certainly Munich understanding, there was an open-ended concept regarding the cessation of hostilities. Of course, the first days are always the most critical. And we're reaching, God willing, 2 weeks with a grosso modo, by and large, quite a sustained reduction of violence. Incidents are taking place, no question. And they are, I'm expecting even worse incidents to take place, probably caused by spoilers. The secret would be whether the sides will be in a position, as so far, touching wood has been the case, contain them, make them not becoming an unraveling of what has been, after 5 years, quite a change so far. Insufficient, not sufficient, but quite a change for the life of every Syrian. And you will be able, Jacob, coming from Damascus yesterday, to say so. Ladies and gentlemen, I leave it to my very good colleagues, and we will be in touch on all the other aspects. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.